early this morning. This is in effect here, including areas such as London Mills and portions of southern Fulton County here this morning. So if you're joining us early this morning, you're going to want to go ahead and take cover here immediately. This doesn't include areas such as Mequon and a little bit of a closer view here as well. Chestnut near London Mills as well, and including St. Augustine, likely in the all clear here now, as this warning just off to the northeast of you folks here. So we're going to continue to stick with this here this morning, and we're going to go ahead and track this out here too in terms of what we're looking at here too. So a little bit of broad rotation going on with this storm right now, including right around Chestnut. You folks, especially in Chestnut here right now, that's where the main area of rotation is ongoing. You can see some of those greens and reds showing up too. That's indicating wind moving away or towards the radar site that we're using, which is currently based in Lincoln too. So anything green moving towards that radar site, anything red moving away. So that is where that main center of rotation is at here currently this morning, and likely some gusty conditions. Now, there's a lot of rain going on with this storm as well too. So if you're waking up trying to look at this, definitely not a good idea. You want to be in your safe location here early this morning, especially since it is still dark outside. You're not going to be able to see this if there is a tornado on the ground. As of right now, we don't have any sort of confirmation about that. It's more so just circulation that we are seeing, hence why that is currently a tornado warning. So you can see some strong gusts here associated with that. Note some of these lighter greens almost looking white here. That's where some of those stronger gusts currently do lie. So right near London Mills, you can see wind gusts upwards of about 40 miles per hour, 38 miles per hour there, just to the southeast of Abingdon, and near Chestnut as well, about 20 mile per hour winds. So some tight rotation going on there as well, as this is working its way to the east and northeast early this morning. So if you don't have a basement, your best idea is to try to get into an interior wall. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. Maybe you have an interior bathroom. That'll be the best location to go here. If you do have a basement, you want to head there now and get into that safe place here early this morning. So in terms of where this does lie, again, this is for portions of southern Fulton County, including communities such as Mequon, towards Haw Creek, Chestnut especially too. You could see how this does have a little bit of a hook here almost on radar right now too. So we'll be looking more so at the southern end of this embedded thunderstorm here. Again, right over Chestnut here this morning. So you folks want to be in your safe place now, as this is going to continue to work its way to the northeast. Mequon and up towards Haw Creek, and even we'll include or mention Williamsfield here this morning. Maybe Elmwood too, we'll keep a close eye on. You folks are outside of this tornado warning here early this morning. Nonetheless, this storm is working its way to the northeast, so we'll make sure to keep a close eye on some of those locations as well. I'll try to get a storm track here just to show which exact location or which direction this is moving towards, and maybe include some of these other communities here in the direct path of this storm too. So Elba Center as well, this is expected to arrive here a little bit later this morning too, at about 5:45 here this morning, so still about an hour out. So this will be a slow mover here over, say, the next 15 to 20 minutes. Again, this tornado warning in effect until 5:15 here this morning. It is currently 4:57 this morning, so this will continue to work its way to the east, northeast too. In terms of hail, really not seeing anything here in terms of this being a known hail maker. We do have maybe just a little bit of hail showing up right near Haw Creek. That's probably just some penny-sized hail at best, maybe even pebble size. So thankfully, this isn't really bringing down any hail with it. Main concern right now will be that tornado threat, which is part of our severe weather risks here for today. Overall, the tornado threat lower. Nonetheless, we do have that tornado warning in effect here for this morning. So we'll go back to radar here and continue to track this out too. So this is the latest model run, or this radar scan coming in here too. You can see that working its way just to the northeast too. So this is likely now right over Chestnut, if not just passing through Chestnut. And next little area that this will be working its way towards, definitely Haw Creek towards Mequon, and right along Route 97. That'll be where this storm is currently heading. So if you do live around Route 97 here, whether it's Haw Creek or even on one of a more rural road, make sure to get to your safe location here early this morning as this tornado-warned storm is working its way towards you here this morning. In terms of velocity, again, this looks a little bit more broad right now, or a little bit looser. So usually when we do see some of those more tornadic storms, we usually look for very tight rotation. You can see this is pretty broad. Nonetheless, it is still showing a little bit of circulation here early this morning too. And I haven't really seen anything from the National Weather Service here in terms of any sort of confirmation if this is an actual reported tornado or not. As of right now, the main focus with this tornado warning is the rotation that is being observed here too. So again, this is right over Chestnut here this morning. If you live down towards London Mills or Herman or even Abingdon here this morning, I do give you the all clear here this morning, as of course this storm has now worked its way past you folks, and this will continue to work its way to the northeast. So Haw Creek and Mequon, you folks need to be in your safe location here this morning. Even off to the south, some of these other areas to Uniontown and outside of this warning, you folks are currently in a severe thunderstorm warning. So you folks are currently likely dealing with some heavy rainfall as well as some ongoing lightning here associated with this storm. In terms of lightning, this one packing a good punch here too. You can see a lot of ongoing lightning, not only within our tornado-warned storm, but even into Peoria County here this morning. We'll move this just a little bit east here too. You can see some of those storms pushing into western Peoria County. So if you folks are joining us here this morning, we do have that tornado warning in effect for the next 15 minutes too. So as soon as that does expire, we will be going back to our regularly scheduled programming here this morning. But for now, that main focus will be on the ongoing tornado warning. In terms of shear, we'll switch over to our shear detector. That usually shows where some of that rotation has been observed or is being observed. And you can see, as mentioned, that has been right over Chestnut and just off to the southwest there towards Herman. When that tornado warning did get issued, it was right over Herman there this morning too. So this will continue to work its way towards the northeast. And if we move our shear detector just a little bit outwards to Yates City too, another location that we'll watch here this morning as you folks are right on the edge of that tornado warning. You can see just outside of it here this morning. Nonetheless, if you are in Yates City or even Uniontown, just stay tuned here over the next 15 to 20 minutes as this storm works its way towards you folks. As currently you guys are outside of that warning, nonetheless, you should still be seeking shelter here early this morning. A lot of heavy rainfall coming down with this as well, and just a little bit of a wider look here too, regardless of where you're at. It's going to be a noisy morning here across central Illinois, regardless of where you're at, as these storms will continue to push their way through central Illinois. And you can see they actually dropped part of that warning there too. So again, if you folks now in Chestnut, you guys are in the clear, so you're okay to come out of your safe location here early this morning as that tornado warning has now expired for you folks. Again, Herman in the clear as well, as is Abington, Uniontown now. You guys are in the clear as well from that. As you can see, that warning has been tightened just a little bit. So Haw Creek and Mequon now, the main focus here this morning. Go ahead, remain in that safe location if you are joining us here early this morning. In terms of rotation and really not picking up anything on coefficient, so it's not like there's anything really being picked up by this. Again, we haven't received any sort of reports of any sort of debris being picked up, more so just that rotation that is being observed here this morning, which is why this was prompted as a tornado warning here by the National Weather Service. So back to radar here too, you can see the main rural storm here, or the main center where there's a lot of heavy rainfall going on just to the west of Route 97 here this morning. I've gone ahead and circled that here for you. That's where there's a lot of heavy rainfall, some pretty strong winds as well. Main winds upwards of 60 miles per hour are possible with this tornado warned storm here. So some pretty noisy conditions there for you folks waking up there in portions of Knox County this morning. Nonetheless, stay in your safe place, and we'll go ahead and give you the all clear here as this storm continues to work its way through. Again, back to our hail detector. Not a lot going on here anywhere across central Illinois, whether it's within that cell or within or with or without that tornado warning, shall we say, to actually the main hail down towards Cuba. But going back to that warning here this morning too, you can see a little bit of correlation coefficient there showing up too. That's more so just the radar being measured. You can see how this is pretty much a linear line too. So really not much concern with that here this morning. And if we go back to our velocity too, we can look at some of these winds going on. So right now that rotation might have tightened up just a little bit there right to the west of Route 97. In fact, this is a scan here that's probably about a minute old. So this is likely now moving its way right in between or right over Haw Creek and Mequon. So you folks right now are really getting the grunt of this storm here this morning. Strong winds, though, even down still towards Chestnut here this morning. You can see gusts upwards of about 50 miles per hour there towards Haw Creek. Maybe not as strong as you guys are just ahead of that storm, 25 miles per hour. So those winds will be increasing here within the next couple of minutes. In terms of our forecast here for today, too, we'll just do a quick reset in case you folks are waking up here early this morning. You can see a lot of those thunderstorms now pushing into central Illinois, and main focus is our tornado warning, which is still in effect here until 5:15 this morning. That severe thunderstorm warning has actually been expired here as we have surpassed that 5 o'clock hour right now. So main focus will be that tornado warning for portions of southeastern Knox County in effect until 5:15. Williamsfield as well as Yates City just outside of this. However, this storm is working its way towards you folks here this morning. So you also want to be paying attention here too, as if this tornado warning does get extended, that'll likely include you folks there in far eastern Knox County too. So an active morning here across central Illinois this morning too. Again, as we've been mentioning here over the past few minutes, once this warning does expire, then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming here for 25 News Today. So we want to say thank you for sticking with us here this morning. If you're looking for some of that news content, we'll get to that as soon as we possibly can. Of course, we want to prioritize here this tornado warning and keeping you folks at home safe here as you're waking up for your Thursday morning. So just a quick reset again, tornado warning in effect here until 5:15 this morning. For portions of Knox County. This now likely right over or just to the west of Haw Creek as well as Mequon too. So I'll stick here on live Doppler radar until we get that latest radar scan into. Current time is now just a matter of a couple seconds away from 5:06 here this morning, and there that goes too. So Mequon, this main storm working just to the northwest of you folks, and nonetheless stay in your safe place here for the next couple of minutes. I'll turn the focus a little bit towards Haw Creek now as a main storm just to the southwest of you folks, and that'll continue to push its way on into. So a little bit of rotation there still to kind of circle this specific little cell right here too, as that's where the most tight circulation likely is ongoing currently as well too. But overall to the National Weather Service too, reporting that the rotation has come down within the last few scans as a whole. So we'll keep a close eye on this here over the next 9 minutes until that warning does expire. And if that trend does continue, then we'll likely see that tornado warning get expired too. And you can see that latest scan coming in there too. So still a little bit of tight rotation there right over Route 97 here this morning, just to the west of Haw Creek. So remain in your safe place there for you folks as well. And then off toward northwest. This will likely be working its way towards Interstate 74 here within the next 5 to even 10 minutes. If you do live anywhere, say near Appleton, Dahinda, even Williamsfield or Elba Center, if you do have an early morning commute, I do advise that you wait here as long as possible. Let this storm pass until heading out. As you can see, even just off to the north there towards Knox and even Appleton there, even some heavy rainfall going on there too as this storm works its way to the northeast too. So another little storm track here too. I'll throw this just over Haw Creek and work its way to the northeast more so. So this will likely work its way towards Dahinda within the next 30 minutes or so, expected to arrive right at 5:38 here this morning. That's likely about the same time of arrival too for Appleton. However, you guys are outside of that tornado warning. And then just to backtrack a little bit to Mequon now, you guys are just about in the clear. Remain in your safe spot here for another couple of minutes. I'll go ahead and give that all clear in a few minutes. Again, Chestnut, which was included in that tornado warning here this morning, you folks do have the all clear, as do you folks in Herman. Uniontown now also in the clear, as this will remain well off to the northwest of you folks. And Elba Center, you guys are in the clear as well now too, as you guys are outside of that tornado warning and also off to the southeast of this storm as it continues to work its way to the northeast. We'll jump back to our shear detector here as well too. So you can see that rotation actually a little bit further to the north there too with that other storm just to the north of it. There isn't a tornado warning associated with that storm right over Appleton. Nonetheless, a little bit of broad rotation going on with that particular storm. And then even over Mequon down towards Haw Creek, right over Route 97, there was a lot of broad rotation there with that tornado warning cell too. So still active conditions here this morning, and that'll be the trend here. That's why we do have that first alert weather day in place. And this is the first of two potential rounds of severe weather that we will see here throughout the day. So Haw Creek still remain in your safe spot too. That storm working its way right over you folks here early this morning too. And we could switch to the correlation coefficient here too. Still not really picking up any sort of debris signature, which would indicate some damage ongoing or any sort of tornadic activity. Again, it's that rotation which has prompted that tornado warning early this morning. Back to reflectivity again. There is that storm too. A good bit of lightning going on here across central Illinois too, even off towards Peoria County. So if you're joining us, maybe you live here across the River City, say Morton, Pekin, you name it. You might have been waking up to some rumbles of thunder there in the distance too. It's going to get wet here and quite noisy within the next, say, 30, 45 minutes. So if you have an early morning commute, have the rain gear ready to go. All right, Mequon as well as Haw Creek still within that tornado warning. This is set to expire here in another 5 minutes as of right now too. So we'll continue to cover this here for the next 5.5 minutes. If this does expire, then we'll take a quick commercial break and likely continue our newscast. Nonetheless, main focus here is that tornado warning. So Mequon, I'll go ahead and give you the all clear here, as this is now well off to the north of you folks too, and this will continue to work its way off towards Dahinda this morning. We'll focus in on, as well as Appleton, as you guys are just outside of that tornado warning. But you also did see there on our shear detector how that there was some broad rotation actually going on pretty much within the heart of this storm. So anywhere you see this torrential rainfall going on right now, that's where a lot of that is actually ongoing right now too. And I'll actually go ahead and change the color of these arrows too, just to make it a little bit easier for you folks at home to see. I know that that orange probably isn't the best of colors there too. So we'll retry this here too. So main area of rotation now does include portions just around Appleton down towards Haw Creek with this storm. Again, that tornado warning extends all the way now towards Interstate 74, as well as a little bit of Route 150 there. We might be able to zoom in here just a little bit more, see if there's any other locations included within this too. No, but that general area there too is what we'll continue to focus on here for the next few minutes. So Appleton, just be on standby. Wouldn't hurt to go ahead and get into your safe space here this morning. Again, try to put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible, especially if you live in a mobile home or a single-story household. If you don't have a basement, the best idea, try to go to an interior bathroom, maybe a closet where there really isn't much glass or any windows, and try to put as many walls between you and the outdoors. If you do have a basement, highly advise getting there right now and remain in that safe place here until we give you the all clear. So this continues to work its way to the east here. I'm going to go ahead and focus back here towards Haw Creek there, as there's a little bit of a notch trying to develop there just to the east of Haw Creek, or to the southeast too, and it's a little bit noteworthy there as well too, as that might be picking up a little bit more broad rotation there. Still not super tight nonetheless. Some gusty conditions going on there as well, and there's your latest radar scan coming in as well too. So winds still upwards of say 30 miles per hour around the heart of that storm, even up towards Interstate 74, about 31 miles per hour there, just to the northwest of Elba Center, and about 15 miles per hour to the north of Haw Creek. So still some gusty conditions. Peak winds with this storm system are possibly up to about 60 miles per hour. That's one of the criteria here with that tornado warning. Peak winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. So packing quite a punch here early this morning. Again, peak winds that we've seen with this about 40 miles per hour about 15 minutes ago, and still a little bit gusty there, especially around, say, Haw Creek and even towards Elba Center. So one or two more quick resets here too, as again, this is set to expire here within about 2.5 minutes, right at 5:15, and then we'll see if the National Weather Service decides to extend that warning or not, as if it does, we'll continue to cover this. If not, then we'll get you back to our regularly scheduled programming. So again, thank you to everyone joining us here early this morning and sticking with us for an active start to our Thursday morning. So this is now working its way out of Haw Creek, Mequon. You guys have the all clear here this morning. We're going to go ahead and wait 1 or 2 more minutes here for Haw Creek. You folks remain in your safe spot here this morning. You can see a good chunk of this storm actually has now worked its way out of that tornado-warned box. So Dahinda as well as Appleton here this morning getting a lot of noise as well. Definitely some heavy rainfall, likely some ongoing lightning or just a little bit of lightning around you folks too, as well as some of those gustier conditions setting on into. So if you are trying to take a look outside, I really highly advise against it. It is still dark outside. A lot of heavy rain coming down as well too. So just remain in your safe spot here for the next couple of minutes. And even here just now, I heard a couple rumbles of thunder as we'll see some of those storms work their way into the River City and the rest of central Illinois here early this morning. So I'm waiting for confirmation here from the National Weather Service. I'll see if they end up expiring this warning here. And you can see actually just now we did get that extended now from a tornado warning into a severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with this here just for another minute until that warning is officially expired. Nonetheless, this storm will still be packing a little bit of a punch here too. So just to preview kind of what's in store here now with that severe thunderstorm warning, this will include portions of Knox County, Stark County, as well as Peoria County. This is more so northwestern Peoria County too. So Catherine, if you're able to take a full screen on this here again, if you don't mind, thank you so much. So this will include Williamsfield up towards West Jersey, Brimfield just outside of this. This does include Montecalora, Elmore, and a couple other communities too. So anywhere around Highway 1 or Route 150 there, including portions of Route 180, Route 90, and 78. Again, portions of northeastern Knox County, northwestern Peoria County, as well as a southern portion or southwestern portion of Stark County, all within the severe thunderstorm warning. And getting a word here from the National Weather Service saying with the circulation not as pronounced, but still in the area near the warm front, they've gone ahead and expired that tornado possible tag. So that latest warning, we still could potentially see this get upgraded back to a tornado warning. As of right now, you could see if you zoom just out, that tornado warning has been expired here now that it is 5:15. Severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect until 5:45 for the next half an hour. We'll continue to keep a close eye on that. And of course, if that does get tornado warned, we'll jump back to full coverage. Until then, though, I think we're going to go ahead and toss it to a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back with 25 News Day. Be on standby here in studio. Nonetheless, a strong thunderstorm working its way into portions of Tazewell County too. So you can see that main core right now just to the northeast of Manitou. This is just to the southwest of South Pekin here this morning, just to the west of Route 29 here this morning. So South Pekin, again, Tremont included, and Groveland. We all need to be getting into our safe locations here this morning as that storm is working its way towards us. And peak concerns, of course, too, will be the potential for a tornado as well as gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour, as well as hail upwards to about an inch, so about a quarter-sized inch in terms of diameter. We'll go ahead and switch straight to velocity here this morning and show you that rotation too. Again, the main focus will be likely this core here too, probably some hail going on with it as well early this morning. So in terms of our velocity, you can see some rotation going on with that too. Still relatively broad, nonetheless, still something of note too, and that's also why that tornado warning has been issued. So in terms of winds here, upwards of about 40 miles per hour wind gusts right now. This is just to the south of Town Line Road and near Wagon Cellar Road as well too, likely where that main rotation is going on to. This also near Hickory Grove Road and just to the west of Route 29. So anyone within that general location too definitely needs to be in their safe place early this morning, including South Pekin too. You can see that rotation just to the southwest of you folks here early this morning too. So this will continue to work its way to the northeast early this morning. And in terms of our shear detector here, you can see this is picking up that broad rotation, even off towards Pekin right now. This other storm picking up just a little bit of a rotation, but you can see really where the center of this rotation is going on. Again, just to the southwest of Pekin, just to the east of Manitou here this morning, and including Green Valley as well. It needs to be in their safe location here immediately as that tornado warning passing right over you folks here as well too, likely dealing with a lot of heavy downpours right now, some strong winds as well as that storm is working its way toward you. In fact, Green Valley not included within that tornado warning, so you folks are currently in the clear. Nonetheless, probably some heavy downpours as well as some gusty conditions are currently working their way on into. This continues to work its way to the northeast, so you can see this tornado warning too does include the eastern portion of Marquette Heights, even right near Creve Coeur, Groveland, Tremont, as well as Dillon, all within this tornado warning, and this will likely continue to work its way. I'd say more so to the northeast rather than east here this morning. So with our storm track here, we're going to go ahead and extend that too. So Pekin Municipal arriving in about the next 1 to 2 minutes. South Pekin here within the next 10 minutes, and there's some other locations too. Pekin Memorial Hospital, expect this to arrive within the next half hour. Groveland in about another hour or so too. So this will continue to work its way to the northeast. We're actually having a little bit of power flashes here too at our station. So if you do happen to go on air at all, we'll try to get back on air as quickly as possible. Thankfully, we do have the backup generator running here early this morning as well too. So just bear that in mind. If we do lose you folks at home for a couple of seconds, we will get back on air as quickly as possible too. So tornado warning does continue. South Pekin, Dillon, and Tremont all need to be within your safe locations here early this morning too. Looks like upwards of about an inch of hail being reported in Chillicothe. That's with a different thunderstorm here this morning. Nonetheless, our main focus will be on this storm here in portions of Tazewell County, likely working its way right along Town Line Road near Route 29 here this morning too. So a little bit of a closer look here too. This is working its way right towards South Pekin, and likely some ongoing hail with this as well here this morning too. So our hail tracker too, you can see a lot of that hail down there towards Manitou. That was before this was issued as a tornado warning. In fact, right now our hail detector pretty much showing up there near Hickory Grove Road and to the west of Wagon Cellar Road too, in terms of how big this is, about a 1/4 inch in diameter. So still some small hail, nonetheless, something to note here this morning as that tornado warning does continue. And some heavy rainfall coming down here at the station as well too. That's really been the trend here across all of central Illinois here early this morning. The core of this now just to the southwest of South Pekin, if not working its way right over South Pekin here this morning. So you folks need to be sheltered if you are joining us here right now. Get inside an interior wall, put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible, especially if you live in a mobile home or a single-story household. You need to be trying to find an interior closet, maybe an interior bathroom. The more doors, the more walls you can put between yourself and the outdoors is safer, or get to your basement here immediately. That does include Pekin as well too, as you folks are within that tornado warning as well too. So thank you for everyone joining us early this morning. We'll get you back to our regularly scheduled programming as soon as possible. This tornado warning in effect here for about another 9 minutes, right until 5:45 here this morning. So we'll continue to cover this here as it continues to work its way to the northeast. As of right now, Dillon, relatively quiet for you folks there, maybe just a little bit of light rainfall, and I do believe the majority of this storm will pass to the northwest of you folks. Nonetheless, be in your safe location here early this morning. Tremont also within that tornado warning, as is Groveland. Morton right now outside of that tornado warning. Marquette Heights, we'll call it the eastern portion of Marquette Heights within that, and the southern half of Creve Coeur too. This actually goes all the way out towards Interstate 474. In fact, us here at the station just outside of that too. Nonetheless, we'll keep a close eye on this as this works its way towards the southern portion of the Peoria Metro here this morning. We're going to go ahead and jump back to velocity here right now, and you can see that rotation still being shown up just a little bit. I think the tightest rotation right now would just be to the south of Town Line Road and to the east of Route 29 here this morning. Note that little notch too, so there's probably some strong winds being funneled into there. You can see how this is almost a little bit of an S curve right here too, so likely some strong winds being pulled in right around South Pekin and just to the southwest there of Dillon too, so likely some strong winds going on in those locations right now too. And I'll throw on a couple of these radar estimated wind gusts here too, so upwards of about 40 miles per hour there right along that center of rotation here this morning. Again, this main concerns here, tornado possible with the storm. We haven't seen any sort of confirmations yet, whether it's from Tazewell County EMA here this morning or the National Weather Service, that there has been a confirmed sighting of this. Nonetheless, it is a possibility. That's why we do have that tornado warning in effect here this morning. So all of you folks, again, South Pekin, Dillon, Tremont, and Pekin all need to be in your safe spot here this morning. We could go ahead and switch back to radar here this morning and show you where this storm is going to. So a lot of heavy rainfall pretty much between Pekin and South Pekin here. Again, the core of this storm right now passing right over South Pekin. You can see some of those purple showing up, maybe still just a little bit of hail going on here this morning with this as well. So some very noisy conditions there for you folks right now. Remain in your safe location. Again, Dillon, despite this being off to the west of you folks are right now under both a tornado warning as well as a severe thunderstorm warning. Remain in your safe location there. Going back a little bit farther off to our southwest here too. Again, Green Valley, you guys are currently in the all clear from the tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for you folks. Manitou in the all clear from the tornado warning, as is say Spring Lake, Forest City, Glassford, Mapleton, all outside of that tornado warning. Just to the north here, here's a quick look here for us across the River City right now, outside of that tornado warning. Nonetheless, a lot of heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning coming down as well here this morning, as we do have our first alert weather day in effect. So again, with this tornado warning, this does continue here this morning until 5:45. So we have another 5 minutes with this. We'll continue to stick with this until then. If you're waking up with us early this morning, hoping for 25 news today, we will get back to that as soon as we can. We just want to wait until this warning does expire and maybe give it 1 or 2 additional scans too, just to make sure that we are good to go with this as, again, tornado warning in effect here this morning too. So I'll go ahead and zoom out actually just a little bit here, give you a broader view of what is going on here across central Illinois just for a brief second, as I want to, of course, maintain that focus on the tornado warning. A lot of active conditions, a wet and noisy start to our Thursday morning. This is all still being driven by a lifting warm front. Again, if you've been watching us here the past few days, we've had that first alert weather day advertised for today as it's a two-pronged storm system. Warm front continues to lift this morning. That drove some of those storms right around midnight, including what we're dealing with right now. Cold front set to arrive later on in the day. I don't really want to focus on that here right now too. We'll get back to that in the extended forecast here later on in our programming. But again, main focus here is that tornado warning right now going on. South Pekin, this is working its way on out. Nonetheless, remain in your safe spot here for a few more minutes, please. Pekin also needs to be in your safe spot. Tremont, Groveland included as well, as this is now working its way into what we'll call the heart here of Tazewell County. Again, Pekin included. South Pekin still under that tornado warning, as is Tremont too. So you can see our debris detector really not picking up on a lot here. Usually we'd be able to see some of these bright colors. This is really just picking up a lot of radar returns here too, so we're not worried about that. Our main focal point, of course, would be between Pekin and South Pekin, where the heart of this storm currently does lie. If there were any sort of debris being picked up, we'd be able to see some bright returns on that. Thankfully, that is not the case. So we're likely just dealing with some gusty conditions right now, as well as some of those heavy downpours. Nonetheless, that rotation is still being seen, so we do need to remain in our safe locations, as a tornado is still possible here within that storm. So you can see this now working its way continuously off to the northeast. Here's your brand new scan coming in here for the start of our 5:52 minute, we'll call it here, for our 5 o'clock hour too. So South Pekin, we'll give this the all clear here in another minute or two. You can see the majority of this storm has worked its way on out. Now main focus pretty much between Pekin and Groveland here, especially along Broadway Street towards Route 9, as well as Parkway Drive, really seeing the majority of this thunderstorm here too. And if we switch back to our shear detector too, yeah, you can see some of these areas of rotation going on, even up here towards Springfield Road at the station. Maybe a little bit of broad rotation within the past minute or two over us. We hear a lot of heavy rain actually picking up here outside of the station right now, and even there towards Pekin this morning, and Veterans Drive, also some broad rotation, even right over the heart of downtown Pekin here too. So you could see that rotation is still being picked up by radar. So this storm still does have a little bit of rotation ongoing with it here this morning. Back to live Doppler radar here really quickly again too. A lot of lightning going on across central Illinois, including within this tornado warm storm too. So a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning and some gusty conditions there too. So whether you're within this tornado warning or just around the River City right now, if you do have a morning commute, it's advised you probably wait until some of these storms really do die down out, as a lot of this heavy rain will continue here, I'd say, for the next half an hour, maybe even 45 minutes. If you do have to be on the roads here this morning, just make sure, give yourself time, take it easy, as visibilities will be low, especially with that heavy rainfall, even some of the blowing wind too, likely blowing some of that wind too. So from the National Weather Service here, as of the past minute too, they are likely going to be expiring this here right at 5:45. So we'll continue to stick with this here for another minute or two. Nonetheless, still some active conditions there. South Pekin, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys all clear here this morning. You folks are okay to come out of your safe location. Pekin, you still want to remain in your safe place here for another minute or two. Groveland especially, as the majority of this storm is only now arriving. That does include portions of, say, southern East Peoria, especially if you live right around Interstate 474 there too. You can see that tornado warning does extend into that area there too. So stay sheltered here for the next few minutes. Of course, if that warning does expire, then we'll give everyone the all clear. Nonetheless, tornado warning does continue here early this morning too. So we'll go ahead and zoom back out here too, especially if that does expire here in the next, say, 20 seconds. Bear in mind, we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect just off to the south. So that does include Delavan and San Jose. Right now, pretty much in between there, we do have pretty heavy downpour going on there right along Route 122. So just bear that in mind. Actually, this was just expired as well. And now we do have a clear slate from any sort of warning. So we're going to go ahead and just take one more quick look here really quick before we toss it to a quick commercial break too. So again, the heaviest rain it looks like here across central Illinois. Again, that cell that was just tornado warned. Pekin, again, you have the all clear, as is Tremont, as does Groveland, as does Marquette Heights, Creve Coeur, and East Peoria. All of us have the all clear now. Otherwise, a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, a lot of heavy rainfall out there here this morning. So we're going to go ahead and toss it to a quick break here really quick. We're going to go ahead and recoup, and then we'll get you back to our regular scheduled programming.